I think it might actually end up raining soon. But I wrote a poem about this, or at least 3 poems, in Hirayat and Kunavin, the first 2 poetry books. I wrote about the devil, the demons, and the storm. And it's kind of a landscape like this, where there's a large distance and you can actually see things. I actually like this type of stuff. Watch. That peak there is called Emigrant Peak. It's 10,000 feet. But the view from there means you can see everything down here. And what that does, I like views like that because it gives you a landscape where you can actually see things. You can actually see where you're going. You can see situations more clearly. You can actually, like, it's that 30,000 foot view, It gives you a broader perspective towards life. And I love those types of things. So because you have that distance, you can anticipate what's happening. And when I wrote about that in my poetry book, I was actually, it was based off of the folklore of the ghost riders in the sky, not just the Johnny Cash song, but there's actual mythology behind it. It's kind of folklore. But it's basically the storms coming in and there's demons sitting on horses, devilish horses, and they're riding towards me. And every time the lightning strikes, it's like orange, it's like fire, and you can hear it crackling. Like the lightning is striking all the way under the clouds, and for some reason it just turns into like this lava type of situation in the sky, and you can actually see the horses galloping. You can see the shadows of the horses. You can hear them galloping towards you. You can hear them neighing. So I draw this articulation, and I also explain how I'm not the right person to be fighting at this point in time, but because the war is coming to me, I'm ready to fight. So I fix up my stance and I'm ready to fight, because the reality is that it's when you least expect it that life actually gets to you. Your opposition and the things that are against you don't actually care what life is like for you, what a good day or a bad day is for you. They care about getting to you regardless. And the only reason you'd be willing to fight at that point in time is if you love. If you genuinely love, you would actually be willing to fight. Doesn't matter how wounded you are, doesn't matter how scarred you are, doesn't matter how destitute your situation is or your condition. Because if you genuinely love yourself, if you genuinely love the people that you love, then you will fight. No matter how bad the odds are stacked against you, you will fight. And I've seen that so many times. I see it on a daily basis. I wake up and I'm full of vigor because I love myself. I love the work that I do. I love the energy that I put into my work. You know what changed that for me? I realized that there is a power in your touch. Like, you have a divine power. It's kind of like the story with Jesus, right? Where the lady who had bleeding for 13 years touches the edge of his fabric or his garment and she gets healed. That was just something he did. Like, it just happened. But when he touches the blind man's eyes, he heals them. And he's giving us the same power too. Reminder, you should hug someone, smile at them, pat their shoulder. I've been increasingly more aware of what my touch is capable of, and I've been very intentional with touching the steering wheel of this car, touching the car, and just in my heart saying, God, can you please bless this vehicle and keep it safe? No matter who's in the car, whether I'm in the car or not does not matter, but just keep the people who sit in this vehicle safe. That's what love is. And I've become more and more aware of what that does. I've been more aware of giving people hugs because I feel like they need that. And being more intentional with the touch of divinity that God has given us in being able to do this type of stuff. Just holding so much power in your touch, because he did the same thing too, and we model after Jesus. Now, back to my point about love, and I just want to take a quick detour. I'm going to check in right now and say, I hope you were positive last week, and I hope you're going to continue being positive this coming week, because why not? A lot of people say, why not just shotgun this beer? I don't see any reason why not, but you'll see people say that as an excuse or a reason to do something that doesn't serve them. Drugs, alcohol, hedonism, heinous things. They'll say, why not? You only live once. That is a trap. Don't fall for it. Instead, why not just be positive? See what I did there? I got dad jokes for days. Anyway, when you talk about love, and I'm hoping you guys continue to be positive because you genuinely love yourself and you love everybody around you. I want that impact to reach not only to you, but to those people that are in your life and the strangers that you come across every day. At the gas station, at the grocery store, any stranger you meet. Walking down the street, and you can just smile at them and be positive towards them because they don't deserve to be treated like shit by you. That's something that Instagram lies to you about. I think the other thing I actually want to talk about when it comes to like fighting for love and being willing to fight in any condition you're in because you love. I was actually talking to someone about this quite recently where I said, you know, if you do love, you find yourself not being a coward. And 2, 3 weeks ago, I did the same thing in the video. Cowardice and meekness, sorry, weakness and meekness are not the same thing. Cowardice is not what God is talking about. You can't love and be a coward. A lot of guys say they love girls. Did you ever realize that? A lot of guys say, oh yeah, I really love her. No, sir, you do not. If you did, you wouldn't have weaseled your way into her heart. Because that's what a lot of guys my age do. I don't get along with people from my generation. I'll explain it to you this way. From my life, and I'm going to be very straightforward. You guys know what to expect from me. Because I don't fluff around and I don't sugarcoat stuff. I'm very direct, and that's probably the reason why most of you actually watch. Because I'm not in the people pleasing business. I'm not. I'm in the people correcting business. And one is actually happens to help society as a general whole. One thing I hate is the culture that my generation has. I can't hold a conversation with anyone my age. I get bored really quickly and I just want them to shut up. The way they talk, it just irritates me because they don't have good conversational skills. They don't really want to talk about deep things. They only want to talk about celebrities. Dude, just stop. I get frustrated about that. But the reason I do is because I actually like the way older generations were raised. And here's the thing, older generations are what I love. I was raised semi kind of like the older generations. So I get along with them more and I appreciate their culture, their traditions, their values, their morals, their principles. But I don't make that my God. I don't make morals, principles, and values my God. I don't make disciplines my God. And I don't expect you to do the same thing either. They're a navigation system. They're your compass to life. But other than that and beyond that, there's not much else. So I would wish the best for you by saying that you understand culture and character, personality, morals, principles, values, deeply held beliefs, and just hone in on that based off of the previous generation, curate that, and learn to do a better job. Learn to become a better person. Because if you really loved yourself and if you really loved that girl, you would be working on yourself way before she even walked into your life. Because at that point in time, you don't just love her, you love yourself enough to love her. You weren't ready for that one, were you? See, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you are an empty cup, what are you pouring into her life? There's nothing in you to pour. What are you going to do for her? You're running on E, empty. There's no gas in your tank. What do you love? Because and same thing for girls too, by the way. If you genuinely love that guy, you wouldn't be the way you are. You would have actually been preparing yourself way before you actually met him. You'd be working on your physicality, your emotionality, your mentality, your financial life, your spirituality, your sociality. You'd be such a well-rounded person because you love yourself enough to focus on also doing that for someone else who's going to be sharing life with you. Does that make sense? It should, because I'm going to blow out the proportion of love in this video. And I want to challenge the way you've been thinking about love for a long time. I know I spoke about positivity. That's not even step one of love. And this is not going to be a one and done video of love. I'm going to continue talking about love because if you think you have love, which one of the people on staff told me that they are a very loving person, but they don't believe in God. I said, I'm sorry, but you're not a loving person. You can't have love and not have God. They're one and the same. God is love. That's why I really love the Bible verse, Proverbs 18:24. A man of many friends may come to ruin, but there is one that stays closer than a brother. Why do I love that verse? Because I am that person. If you are in my life, and if I'm dedicated to you, there's going to be no one else in my life. Like there's going to be no one else in your life like me. And there's going to be no one else in my life like you. We're just going to have such a unique bond together that's how it's going to be. Why does this verse encapsulate love so well? Closer than a brother. You need to understand, double down on your relationship with brothers. If you are an only child and you are a girl, find a brother you can trust, your cousin, your friend, anything. Someone that is genuinely a really good guy, doesn't want to get down in your pants or doesn't want to fall in love with you, but he just respects you. Be his sister. Understand how he is as a brother to you. Understand that bond. If you have a brother and you're a girl, Get closer to your brother, please. If you are a guy and you have a brother, be a better brother. Don't fight with your brother. Learn to be a better brother. If you are an only child, yeah, I covered that one too. And if you are a guy with a girl as a sibling, find yourself a brother, whether it be your cousin or a friend, and just learn what it is, the dynamics of brothers. Because what happens is that verse in Proverbs 18:24 encapsulates everything. Love your neighbor as yourself. Greater love has no one than this. So lay down one's life for one's friends. Love each other in brotherly love. It's literally the same thing. God's talking about love like that. That's God's own words. And love keeps no records of wrongdoings. That's why brothers can actually get along with each other much faster than you'd actually expect. They'll fight one day, they'll fight like dogs, but they'll save each other the next minute if a third party is involved. You know, I wear this, and this is like, I know you guys might have mixed opinions about the person, but I love this regardless. In the darkest hour, when the demons come, call on me, brother. We will fight them together. There was something I read a while ago. It was about how a man met a shepherd, and when he was with the shepherd, he said, "Why do you only have 2 dogs and like 200 sheep?" He said, "Because these 2 dogs are brothers. Please understand. 2 dogs are better than 7 dogs. 2 brothers are better than seven dogs." Can you imagine that? Why? Because they will fight to the death for each other. They love each other that much. That's how love works. You can't say you love Israel and that's why you're supporting the death of Iranian people. You can't say you love Ukraine and you're supporting the death of Russian people. You can't say you love Russia and support the death of Ukrainian young guys. Do you understand that there were young people searching every day on their phone? When are the peace talks going to happen between Russia and Ukraine? When is a treaty going to be signed? Every single day. Can you imagine waking up like that on a daily basis? And here you are thinking you actually love something when you really don't. I wonder what it must be like to be you and be so deceived about love. Because that's not how love works. A lot of shitstagram shitfluencers told you this about love, and whatever you learned online, you need to unlearn really quickly. Because love doesn't work that way. Love says people are dying regardless, and that's a bad thing. I talk about God, I talk about Christianity, and I've stopped caring about, oh yeah, I said I was going to stop talking about religion. Because everything is tied to God. Everything you do is tied to God. Everything can be related to God directly and indirectly. Everything circles back to God, and God is love. Love, He makes the world go around. Love makes the world go around. Why do you think I actually took the time to make this video and start this series? Because love is that important. Love is just happens to be that important. I wish you guys actually understood more about love on that basis. I see people deceive themselves about love on a daily basis. And sometimes it does bring tears to my eyes that you say you love people. You say you love that girl, but you don't want to have kids with her. You say you love and that you are a man of love and that you love yourself. If you really did, you'd have children. If you did, you'd want the best for every kid on the planet. Love is just that contagious. And love is very much just so that abundant as well. If it's not, then you're doing something wrong. Sorry to break it to you. Or you're learning. Take it that way. Or you are learning about love. You know, there's a lot that's said to be about love, which is why this is just an introductory video for you. And the storm is a-coming. But it's like I said in the last video. There's no light without dark. No joy without pain. You can't have a rainbow without a little rain. It would be kind of cool if it did show up. I remember I said that in one of the videos. I want you guys to keep an open mind when it comes to love. Try and be open to learning new ways of love that you could have never comprehended for yourself. Because you're capable of that. I really believe you are. I want you to expand the horizon within which you believe love and the depths of love that you believe in. I barely scratched the surface on a few things. People think, contrary to popular belief, I am a man of love. And I really believe in love. And sometimes love just means like, oh, I saw that person. I think a pair of earrings would look good on them. I don't care what other people think. If you are a Christian, you shouldn't care about what other girls think. And oh, you know, society says, bruv, hold up a minute. Engagement rings weren't a thing until 1938. It's a business campaign. Engagement and engagement rings are a business campaign to sell diamonds. Sorry to break it to you. Your great-great-grandfather never gave your mother, great-great-great-grandmother an engagement ring. Didn't happen. They just said, wanna get married? Okay, good. Let's go. Wanna have kids? Okay, good. Let's go. That's kind of how it happened. The lady comes, she buys the most expensive perfume she can find, that money can buy at that point, at that time. She rushes in the door, breaks the perfume at Jesus' feet, and starts washing it with her hair. And what does she? Everybody, Jesus' own disciples, the people that have seen how Jesus operates, what do they say? That money could have been used to feed the poor. That money could have been used to do this. That money could have been used to do that. That's the best that Jesus' disciples had to say. The people who spent time with Jesus 24/7 at times. And you know what he says? I know that was probably the best investment she ever made in her life, because she just prepared my body for burial. So yeah, when you do see someone and you think and you see jewelry and you're like, maybe that would look good on that person, buy it for them. I don't care what society says, because that's kind of what love looks like. Doesn't have to make sense. If love made sense, then Jesus wouldn't die for us. If love made sense, then you'd actually go to bed on time instead of texting that girl when you were in love the first time, or you thought you were. If you really loved yourself, you'd wake up every morning without a thought of laziness. You'd work hard every day if you really loved yourself. So the question is, do you love yourself? Can you measure love? Do you measure love? Think about that for the rest of the week. Just think, do you really love? And do you really think you can measure love? Can you really measure love? There are different forms of love, but this is something to broaden the horizon of with which you can think. I'm here to make you think. I'm not like the other people on social media. I'm here to genuinely make sure you think. I'm not the shitfluencer on Shitstagram telling you about different things. I don't even want likes and comments. I have 800 subscribers. I'm fine with that. I actually lose money doing this stuff. I don't make any money doing any of this. I could be doing something else. And yet, because I love myself enough to pour my love into you, and the love that I have in me to pour it into you and pour it your way, direct it your way, just so that you guys can learn to just think beyond what Instagram tells you and what people on Instagram tell you. That's why I ignore data. You can't say you love yourself and you love your life and then abandon the experiences with which you can form a belief. Belief as in the acceptance of the truth of something, or something as the truth. Like in your life, there must have been an experience you had which shows you the truth and the reality of something, but then you deny that and you abandon that, and then you come and say, oh, well, the science says this. I don't care about science. I care about my experience, because my experience has validated more than science ever will. Science is still being discovered. They don't even understand quantum mechanics yet. Forget that. Forget science. You've had an experience of your life, and you've had multiple experiences that proved reality and truth to you. So why not use that? People will use science as a reason to deny God when God has given them multiple experiences to prove his very existence. They will deny love by saying that it's just chemicals in your brain. Keep fooling yourself that way. So no, I'm not a shitfluencer on Shitstagram or on YouTube or on Shit Talk or any of that stuff. I'm here to genuinely pour my time and energy to just love. And you know something I read about love that a pastor said? The disciples were so backed by love that they could not be stopped. They were dragged on horses, decapitated, hung, crucified, some of the most brutal persecutions ever. And they could not be stopped. No matter how many threats they got, no matter how many times they almost had near-death experiences, they could not be stopped because they were backed by love. They were so loved that they could not be stopped. And Jesus didn't start a revolution. He said, let me pick up these 12 guys and show them how it is, what it is to be loved. Isn't that wonderful? Something to think about. Let me marinate about love a little bit more before I talk to you about it in the next video. Continue being positive. Learn how to love someone this week. Even if it's a genuine compliment, even if you just show them a little bit of love, any which way you know how. And you know best that they would receive your love. Especially in an appropriate way, please. And do that. Just be a man of love. Be a woman of love. I spoke to someone I thought was supposed to be my enemy for the rest of summer. She sat down next to me and we spoke for a decent 2 hours. I got to give her a hug, and she realized just how soft and sensitive I am at the right time. And I could love on her the way Jesus got to love the lady at the well. And sorry, pastors, if you don't trust me with doing something like that with a girl. Your mind went there, mine didn't. Mine was there to just show her that the love that I can give her at that point in time is the same love that the Father can give her any time of day. If people can see a glimpse of the love that I can give them at their worst, when they're having the worst day, shows them how much God loves them every minute of every day. When you thought you were clumsy, He's just going to wave around your mistake because He loves you that much. That's love. No matter how much I didn't like that girl, I showed her love, genuine love that just burst forth from me for her, to show her that that's how God loves her every moment of every day. She wakes up, she's disoriented. God loves her, and she needs to see that. So yeah, continue to be positive. Love everyone that you come across. Just pour love into them any way you know how. Open the door. I don't care. Be positive and be kind and be loving. And I hope this is a good reminder for you to start the week with. This is just the beginning of love. And continue to smile, because I feel like a lot of you have really good smiles, by the way.